An entrepreneur in China was arrested for criticizing the regime. His company, complete with 30 subsidiaries and 9,000 employees, was taken over by authorities. Crowds of people are lining up for CCP virus testing. The same scene is popping up all over the country in recent days, as concerns rise about possible new outbreaks. In China, guilt isn't always determined by laws and in courtrooms. For some, family status may just decide your consequences. Taiwan's environment has helped some mainland Chinese people see the true nature of the Chinese Communist Party. A petition calling for an end to the CCP has gained over 220,000 signatures. This as the U.S. adds questions warning against communism to its naturalization test. And we explore a love and hate relationship that's between China and Taiwan, as well as other democratic countries. Beijing loves the business they bring, but seeks to destroy their freedoms and values. Welcome to China in Focus. I'm Tiffany Meyer. Chinese entrepreneur Sun Dawu has been arrested for what police called provoking trouble and sabotaging production and operation. Some say the arrest is a form of retaliation against Sun, who's known as the conscience of Chinese businessmen.
About 20 people at the company Dawu in North Chinese Hebei province were arrested last Wednesday, including its founder and CEO Sun Dawu alongside his wife, their 2 sons and daughters-in-law, and executives of the company. Sun's company, Dawu Group, has around 30 subsidiaries, and all of them were taken over by the authorities. The employees believe the authorities were retaliating against Sun. One of the possible reasons is a land dispute between Dawu Group and a local state-run farm. One early morning this August, people from the state-run farm used an excavator and a crane to demolish a Dawu office building. As the company employees saw what was happening, they tried to stop it and clashed with police. Over 20 people from Dawu were injured. Another possible reason for Sun's arrest could be his criticism on the Chinese Communist regime. As early as 2003, he published an article in memory of Li Shenzhi, a prominent Chinese social scientist. Li had been dismissed from his position due to his criticism of the authoritarian regime. In 2003, Sun was sentenced to 3 years of probation on charges of what the regime called illegal fundraising. It is widely known that the Chinese Communist Party makes such accusations regarding the economic field to suppress entrepreneurs who speak out for freedom. In 2019, when the authorities tried to cover up the African swine fever epidemic, Sun revealed that tens of thousands of pigs had died in his pig farm, but the government refused to confirm it. This October, Sun accepted an interview with a foreign media, indirectly criticizing China's economic system. The third potential reason for his arrest could be retaliation for his Dawu hospital. State-run hospitals in China follow the principle that if patients have no money, the hospitals provide no treatment. But Sun said he set up the hospital not for the purpose of earning money. It is said that a complete set of examinations, including B ultrasound and blood tests, only cost $1.50 in his hospital. It has also set up free medicine boxes for people with minor illnesses to take away.
Why do you want to make money under the epidemic? I don't understand. Your purpose shouldn't be making money. You shouldn't make money when you run a hospital. I give you the best hospital, the best equipment, the best doctors, and you run this hospital for me according to this purpose.
Some believe that operating in this way, Dawu Hospital cuts some of the profits of state-owned hospitals, making it one of the possible reasons for Sun's arrest. Sun was once a nationally renowned chicken-raising champion. He founded Dawu Agriculture and Animal Husbandry Group in the 80s. Now it is one of China's 500 largest private enterprises with more than 9,000 employees and an annual output value of nearly $500 million.
New virus cases have appeared across China in recent days. That's after similar reports emerged from Shanghai, Tianjin, and Dalian City. A hotel in southwestern China's Chengdu City announced an asymptomatic case on Monday. The hotel temporarily closed as a result. Hotel guests were also put under lockdown and blocked from leaving. And last Friday, authorities in the northwestern city of Lanzhou ordered mass virus testing for residents. The sudden move came after the infection was found on a package of shrimp. The same day, officials from the eastern city of Jinan claimed the virus was found on imported frozen food and its packaging. Locals disclosed that residents in the area were required to take a virus test that night. And according to a video shared online, many of the city's schools also required all students to be tested on Friday. The surprise virus testing comes as other areas are put under wartime status, an official order similar to a state of emergency in the U.S. Luotian County inside Hubei province is one of them, imposing the order last Thursday. But officials didn't explain the reasoning behind it. At the same time, they claim the region was completely clear of virus cases. But some locals suspect officials are instead concealing infected patients. The Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, has publicly attributed all domestic virus cases to overseas imports. Because of the stance, many Chinese citizens have taken the information to mean they no longer need to take precautions. In one recent incident, a man in Chongqing City passed out on the sidewalk. Video footage shows none of the bystanders were wearing masks. The video quickly caught public attention online. That's because during China's initial pandemic waves, virus patients were reported to pass out on the street across the country. It's currently unclear what caused the man to pass out. Now we take a look at a Chinese man who attacked the police, and there seemed to be a reason why he dared to do so. A video going viral online shows the man in a white t-shirt walking up to a policeman and suddenly attacking him. He shouted, "Do you know who my dad is?" As the police handcuffed him, he said, "Let me go. Do you want to die? Do you want your whole family to die, do you?" The incident occurred on November 1st at the entrance of a restaurant in Beijing. The man named Liu was drunk and had a fight with someone. When police arrived at the scene to deal with it, unexpectedly, Liu attacked the police. He was detained on suspicion of obstructing official duties. It is not clear who his father is. This is not the only time something like this has occurred. An accident 10 years ago has appeared on the search trending list of a popular Chinese search engine. The son of a CCP official knocked two people down while drunk driving, killing one of them. The driver accused the two people of damaging his car and said, "You cannot sue me. My father is Li Gang." He triggered a lot of anger on social media and was sentenced to 6 years in prison. "My father is Li Gang" became a buzzword for netizens to ridicule the second generation of officials. 2 years ago, a mother did something similar. Her daughter in kindergarten often beat her classmates and was punished by the teacher. The teacher scolded the child, saying she should sit apart from her classmates. The girl's mother heard about this. She said to the kindergarten that her daughter's father was the vice party secretary of the city. Then she made the teacher apologize to her daughter in front of all the teachers and students, and almost had the kindergarten expel the teacher. Even though Taiwan shares the same language and same ethnicity as people in China, it is a different type of society, thanks to its democracy and rule of law. Many Chinese that live in both places can feel the difference between the two and begin to think seriously about how communism takes away their dignity.
Taiwan and China, despite their close proximity, are home to two conflicting ideologies, democracy and totalitarianism. Lin Xiaoxin is one of many who say they feel a dramatic difference between them after living in both countries. Lin is a Chinese student living in Taiwan. He has witnessed the CCP's harassment of Hong Kong and Taiwan firsthand. According to him, he feels Beijing's interest in Taiwan is dangerous and that the Chinese regime's efforts to export communist ideology is concerning. He explained that he quit the Youth League and Young Pioneers, two of the CCP's affiliate organizations, after reading the book The 9 Commentaries on the Chinese Communist Party. The following is a declaration he wrote and posted on a website that helps people quit the party. "I was born in China. From an early age, I found it disgusting to be exposed to the CCP's culture. The brainwashing tactics of this evil dictatorship are everywhere in daily life. So I chose Taiwan to finish my university education. During my study of philosophy in Taiwan, I read the 9 commentaries on the Chinese Communist Party. From the book, I realized the party's evil nature and the inevitability of its tyranny. Since the Hong Kong anti-extradition movement, I witnessed how CCP's branch in Hong Kong harassed and persecuted pro-democracy protesters. I decided not to stay silent anymore. Hence, I solemnly declared that I quit the Chinese Communist Party and all its affiliate Communist Youth League and Young Pioneers. I absolutely detached myself from this evil, cannibalistic regime. According to NTD's sister media, The Epoch Times, who runs the site, nearly 370 million people have quit the party and its organizations. The US-based newspaper published the 9 commentaries on the Communist Party in November 2004. The publication led to the creation of the Tuidang movement in December of the same year. Tuidang can be literally translated as withdraw from the Communist Party. The movement encourages people to renounce their membership in the Chinese Communist Party and its affiliates. Many use pseudonyms or nicknames to quit. That's in order to protect themselves and their families from retaliation, especially for those who are still in China.
A petition calling for the end to the Chinese Communist Party has gained over 220,000 signatures in just a few months globally. It was initiated by the Tuidang, or Quit the CCP movement.
A petition titled End the CCP has been gaining steam for 5 months. It was created by the Tuidang Center, also known as the Global Service Center for Quitting Chinese Communist Party. The New York-based nonprofit aims to help Chinese people learn about and quit the party. Chairman of the center, Yi Rong, told us that the End the CCP petition has become a global phenomenon.
Signatures come from Japan, Korea, countries in Europe like the UK and Germany, and other countries like Australia and New Zealand. When we receive small donations, you can see which countries they're coming from. It really can be considered a global petition campaign.
Tuidang centers also have a presence in Canada, Taiwan, Hong Kong, France, Germany, Italy, Russia, and Australia, among others. He explained that the CCP has become a threat to the U.S. and the world.
Many Americans see the evil nature of communism very clearly. They see things like the Chinese Communist Party and how communism erodes the U.S. election and threatens world peace.
The majority of the nearly 370 million who have quit the party are located within mainland China. The attitude shift suggests the Chinese regime is losing favor with its people. The Global Service Center organizes End the CCP motorcades every weekend in cities like New York, New Jersey, and California. Reporting by Ke Tingting and Don Ma, NTD News.
U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services released a new version of the American citizenship exam last week. Several questions were reportedly added, including 3 focused on communism. The new exam version will be taken by citizenship applicants starting December 1st of this year. The agency revised the civics test as part of a regular update done once every 10 years. The test serves to assess applicants' knowledge of American civics. The new version contains 128 questions compared with the previous bank of 100. Among those added are questions relating to the U.S. Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, as well as the significance of the opening words of the Constitution, "We the People." As for the 3 involving communism, question 109 asks, during the Cold War, what was one main concern of the United States? The answers are communism and nuclear war, while questions 110 and 111 ask why the United States entered the Korean War and the Vietnam War. The answer to both is to stop the spread of communism. The agency also announced new policy guidelines in recent months, mainly to address the inadmissibility of Communist Party members, meaning they won't be allowed to enter or remain in the U.S. This series of changes has prompted a wave of Chinese people around the world to quit the Communist Party. A Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson expressed congratulations to U.S. presidential candidate Joe Biden on Friday. The U.S. election results have yet to be finalized. Recounts are pending in several states, while others are facing lawsuits. But Democratic Party candidate Joe Biden declared victory on November 7th. On November 9th, a spokesperson for China's Foreign Affairs Ministry said that China would wait until the election results are determined, following U.S. law and procedures. Last Friday, the same spokesperson was again asked by a reporter why Chinese leaders have not congratulated Biden. He answered, "We congratulate Mr. Biden and Ms. Harris," but he did not say Biden and Harris were recognized as president and vice president-elect. Chinese Communist Party head Xi Jinping has not expressed congratulations to Biden so far. Several families are mourning after at least 7 people were killed in Hong Kong on Sunday after a fire broke out. The Hong Kong police say those who died were aged 9 to 40. Several other victims were said to be in a critical condition at the hospital. Preliminary investigations by the police showed the unit was operating as an unlicensed restaurant at the time of the incident. The victims were having a celebration when the fire broke out. An eyewitness told media a birthday celebration was being held at the time and that there were children in the group. Beijing's new resolution allows authorities in Hong Kong to expel elected lawmakers without going to court, and it's affecting some of the region's classrooms, making schools a new battleground as more and more restrictions are being put in place.
Sarah is ready to say goodbye to Hong Kong, her birthplace and home, all for her 8-year-old son.
I want him to grow up in an environment with enough freedom, and he could have a chance to do what he wants to do, not be restricted by some invisible red line.
She's a teacher in Hong Kong, planning to move to the UK.
We're open for different options, okay? Like cashier at supermarkets, or even be cleaners or doing dishes, okay? So anything is possible. I think we place more value on giving my son the option and the freedom.
In the summer, the Chinese government imposed a national security law that bans secession, subversion, terrorist activities, and collusion with foreign powers, giving Beijing the power to quash opposition with fines and prison sentences. Now, the battleground has moved from the streets to the classroom. Teachers are under scrutiny, and schools' publishers and libraries are removing or altering materials that could violate the law. Chief Executive Carrie Lam said illegal ideas and pro-independence concepts cannot exist in schools. But those changes worry some parents of young children. College teachers are feeling the pressure too. Chinese University of Hong Kong professor Rowena He is known for her research on the 1989 Tiananmen Square massacre, a banned topic in China. This year, for the first time, the Tiananmen Vigil was banned. Authorities blamed coronavirus restrictions, but many fear it is gone for good.
Until the day that the government stop imprisoning people for what they say, what they write, what they teach, what they believe in, people would have the same fear. But then I don't think that means that we should stop doing the right thing.
One of Rowena's students plans to become a teacher herself so she can keep the memory of 1989 alive.
3, 2, 1, go!
Now, Sarah's biggest fear for her son is what the city could become in the decades to come. By leaving Hong Kong now, she's hoping he won't have to leave his home again when he grows up.
As the U.S. is still counting the votes, a China-backed free trade bloc was formed on Sunday. It spans 30% of the world's economy and likely gives Beijing greater influence while leaving Washington on the outside.
With a flurry of signatures, the world's biggest trade bloc came into existence on Sunday. 15 Asia-Pacific economies forming the China-backed Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership at a virtual summit. And one notable absence? The United States. China will now have greater scope to shape the region's trade rules thanks to the partnership, which groups the 10-member Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, with Japan, South Korea, Australia, New Zealand and China. The RCEP aims to progressively lower tariffs across many areas and also marks the first time rival Eastern powers China, Japan and South Korea have been in the same trade deal. Economists say it could also help Beijing cut its dependence on overseas markets and technology, a shift that's been accelerated by a deepening rift with Washington. Vietnam, which hosted Sunday's summit, said the bloc will account for 30% of the world's economy, 30% of its population, and will reach 2.2 billion consumers.
Now we turn to viewer comments. A viewer cannot understand Beijing's contradictory stance towards Taiwan. That is, Beijing opposes Taiwan, but at the same time, Beijing welcomes Taiwan's business. Actually, the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, not only treats Taiwan this way, but also Hong Kong, the US, and all other democratic countries. Beijing needs to do business with countries with more money, and these countries happen to be countries with a democratic system. Beijing is deeply concerned that the values of democracy and freedom can awaken Chinese people and would cause them to stand up to the totalitarian regime of the Communist Party. So they block all foreign media in China that aren't in line with their ideology, including NTD TV and our sister media, the Epoch Times. In China, bypassing the internet firewall and getting information from abroad can lead to hefty fines and even imprisonment. At the same time, the Communist Party is trying to give Chinese people benefits so that they ignore the injustices happening to other Chinese people. As long as the injustice doesn't happen to them, they ignore what's being done to others. The CCP has found that money is the most effective way to achieve this. For Taiwan, there is another reason why the CCP opposes the self-ruled island. Whenever there is a crisis in China, be it political or economical, the CCP needs to divert the attention of the people onto something else. Taiwan is a contentious subject, and it works to distract people from problems at home. The CCP claims Taiwan as its own territory, but Taiwan does not accept CCP rule, and has not done so now for over 70 years. And that's all for today's China in Focus. Thanks for watching and see you tomorrow.